everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're walking in Memphis. Topic of this Walking in Memphis, Terry Funk. And we've done a lot of these tribute shows as of late. We seem to be losing a lot of people. By the time this releases, this will be my third tribute video I've made for Terry Funk, which I believe I said it in my previous one. I could make 1,000 tribute videos and I wouldn't even scratch the surface of how important he is. I'm only going to talk about one match here, much like I did with the Jerry Jarrett one and the Adrian Street one, because I want the spotlight more to be on Terry Funk than the promotion. It is a match that happened in Memphis, and you probably already know. Obviously, if you clicked on the video, you're gonna know. We're talking about the empty arena match, Terry Funk versus Jerry the King Lawler. This is obviously one of Terry Funk's great matches, one of the matches I've heard people talk about since his passing as something that really got them into pro wrestling. Something that whether you've seen it as it happened or years later on tape, you just loved every moment of it. I'm in the latter category. I've seen it years later on tape. And there is going to be a link to the video in the comments here, which you can find on YouTube. I mean the description, not the comments. So you can watch this fantastic piece of artwork as well. The cool thing in a little snippet that I didn't know to listening to Jim Cornette's latest podcast when he talked about Terry Funk is this video, specifically the one that I got the link for, is from Jim Cornette. He took the raw footage that Jerry Jarrett had and made this. And you'll see here, there's even some things in here that are kind of cool. They give it a little behind the scenes vibe. Before the match, we have Lance Russell in the Mid-South Coliseum, which is empty. He's talking about what's happening. Even before that, we see him just standing there kind of going over notes with the cameraman, and he lights up a cigarette. They go, basically it's time to go, so he throws the cigarette away, which is kind of funny and cool, especially looking at it in 2023 when smoking is not really something that's people do in public places. Just a weird little time capsule. As he's standing there, he's saying that the wrestlers are to arrive by 1 p.m. The first one that does arrive is Terry Funk, who proceeds to run down Jerry Lawler for not being there on time. Lance Russell goes into defense of Lawler, saying maybe he's late, maybe he got stuck in traffic. The other thing that was kind of neat about this, he kind of made it feel real, which was something that Terry Funk was a master in, was making wrestling matches feel real, is Funk is openly cursing here. Now, it's bleeped out on this, and it was probably bleeped out when they aired it, but you could obviously make out what he's getting at. You know what words fit into what he's saying. Ultimately, Lawler does show up, and he's got his gown and the crown and everything on, and he's decked in all white, and Terry Funk points out something about his ego, which I thought was pretty apropos. You know, there's no fans here. Why did you have to dress like that? When Terry Funk came in just his trunks. The two men go at it and they absolutely tear into each other. They're all around the ring, going through chairs, using the marker for the section on each other. Terry Funk is making squealing noises and calling Jerry Lawler a pig. This is a masterclass at what pro wrestling is and can be when it's done at its very best. You have two of the all-time greats here putting in a performance where no one's there. They can't bounce us off of a crowd to see how the crowd reacts, yet they put on one of the most compelling and interesting matches that I've ever seen, and that, based on what I'm seeing online, a lot of people have ever seen. After a lot of brawling, we see Lawler kind of kick Terry Funk, who has a piece of wood in his hand that he was trying to put out Lawler's eye with, and the stick goes into Funk's eye, which Funk starts screaming immediately, "My eye, my eye, Lance, call for an ambulance, my eye." And I know that's terrible, but you know the Terry Funk voice. We see Lance Russell scatter off, presumably to get in contact with an ambulance because of what just happened. Jerry Lawler leaves, obviously being, I guess, the victor here. He's proved his point. Terry Funk is leaving the match injured. After that, we get a promo with Terry Funk where he's wearing an eye patch and he has teeth that are knocked out, and he's saying that they're from Jerry Lawler. I don't know if the teeth are from Lawler or not, or if he had false teeth that he just put in and out for promo such as this. Another fantastic piece of business, because this set up a cage match that happened later, which I've seen that cage match as well. I couldn't find it because I probably would have done 2 for 1 here if I could have, and I know someone's probably going to link it and find it within 10 seconds. For whatever reason, I just couldn't find the match. But I've seen that before, and it was kind of cool because the cage wasn't the chain link fence. They used more of a chicken wire, and immediately Funk threw Lawler through the cage and then proceeded to fight outside, kind of like this was. This is just another match where Terry Funk gives us a template to see what wrestling is and what it can be and how you could take it to different places. Phenomenal match. Stuff that was being done here is what would lay the groundwork for ECW and also FMW, which Onita mentioned that he got a lot of his ideas from FMW from the wild brawls that happened in Memphis while he was an excursion in Memphis. I'm not going to give this a rating because much like every other tribute video, it's just a tribute. I do highly recommend watching this match, going down there and clicking on it. You will be entertained. If you're clicking this video, you're definitely going to be entertained by that match. Again, this was just another tribute to a guy that I can't pay tribute to enough. In my opinion, the greatest wrestler of all time. A guy that's given me countless hours of entertainment, countless hours of enjoyment, helped build my favorite promotion in the world. Without Terry Funk, ECW's not ECW. ECW's just another Northeast promotion that probably flies by night. With the cosign of Terry Funk, he helped make it what it was. And watching SmackDown last night with Cody Rhodes talking about it and how there's some wrestlers, and this one really got me, it really hit, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not saying exactly what he said because I am not as great of a speaker as Cody Rhodes. If I was, this channel would have more viewers and more people watching than it does. But he basically says there's some wrestlers that'll reach down and pick up another wrestler. Terry Funk reached down and picked up and elevated a company. He elevated a revolution. Just in my opinion, the all-time great, the man. I can't say enough good about Terry Funk. Like I said, if I make 1,000 more of these videos, I'm just going to scratch the surface. With that being said, let's smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you made it here to the end, let me know in the comments something positive about Terry Funk, whether it be a memory, a match, if you met him the first time you saw him. If you just want to put rest in peace Terry Funk, I understand. Put that down there as well. Let's start some positive karma into the world for Terry Funk and the Funk family. I love you, Terry Funk, and if I ever get to see you in the afterlife, I hope I get to explain just how much you meant to me and how much you meant to a lot of wrestling fans. Godspeed, Terry Funk. Rest in peace. My name is George Coles, and we've been walking in Memphis.